Look at the news right now. What do you see? Missiles raining down on Tehran. The US and Israel dropping 900 precision strikes on Iran in just 12 hours. It is a brutal, trillion-dollar conflict dragging the Middle East into absolute chaos. But while the whole world is glued to the explosions, someone else is quietly checking their bank account. And that balance? It is going up by billions. I'm talking about Russia. While the US burns through its military budget fighting a massive war in the Middle East, Vladimir Putin is receiving the ultimate financial rescue. And the crazy part? You, whether you are a student watching this from New Delhi or a tech worker in Bangalore, are directly paying for it. How did a US war in the Middle East accidentally save the Russian economy? Let's turn off the breaking news alerts and look at what is really happening behind the scenes. Let's rewind for a second. Before February 2026, Russia's economy was bleeding. Western sanctions and a strict $60 price cap on their oil were actually working. Moscow was facing a massive $35 billion budget deficit. But then the Iran war started, and Iran did exactly what everyone feared. They shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Wait, why does one little strip of water matter? Because 20 million barrels of oil pass through there every single day. Overnight, that oil was trapped, global panic set in, and Brent crude oil prices violently spiked past $120 a barrel. Now, pause and think. Who has millions of barrels of oil but doesn't need the Strait of Hormuz to ship it? Russia. Their oil leaves from secure ports in the Baltic and the Pacific. Instantly, Russian oil went from being heavily sanctioned to becoming the most desperately needed energy source on Earth. The price of Russian crude doubled, jumping from $45 to over $90 a barrel, and sometimes hitting $120 for deliveries to India. This price surge alone guarantees Russia an extra $8.5 billion every single month. But it gets crazier. The US actually helped Russia make this money. Let's look at India. India is the world's third largest energy consumer, buying 55% of its crude from the Middle East. When global prices skyrocketed, it threatened to crush the Indian economy and spike food inflation. India had to buy cheap Russian oil to survive. To stop a global economic collapse, the US was forced to issue a temporary waiver, allowing India to buy 30 million barrels of stranded Russian crude. By attacking Iran, the US essentially broke its own economic war against Russia. But oil isn't the only thing flowing. Have you heard of the axis of evasion? It is a highly synchronized shadow network between Russia, China, and Iran. Iran sends Russia thousands of Shahed drones. China acts as the middleman, providing advanced rocket fuel components. And Russia moves its oil using a shadow fleet of off-the-books tankers, ghost ships that are literally using Western Starlink satellites to dodge capture in the middle of the ocean. And to make sure the US can't track all this new money, Russia and Iran just merged their national banking systems, Mir and Shetab. Russian tourists can now use their phones to buy things in Iran, completely bypassing the US dollar and the SWIFT banking network. It is a financial cloaking device, and it is working flawlessly. So let's look at the final scoreboard. The United States entered this war to project strength and crush an adversary. Instead, they are burning through billions of dollars in missiles that they can no longer send to Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russia gets a multi-billion-dollar stimulus package. They get advanced military tech, and they successfully build a new financial universe that the West cannot control. Geopolitics isn't just about who drops the biggest bombs. It is about who controls the silent flows of energy, technology, and money. In the shadow of the Iran war, Russia positioned itself as the only available life raft when the global ships started sinking. So the next time you see fuel prices rise in your city, remember, you aren't just paying for gas, you're funding a massive shift in the global balance of power. If you want to keep understanding how the world really works without the boring lectures, hit that subscribe button. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think the US saw this coming, or did they walk right into a massive trap? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.